I would be damned
Oh.
if I had to take my sunglasses off. I want you to understand. I would be damned if I had a child with a woman and we were together and separated for whatever reason, and then I am on a Disney cruise with her and her new fiance with my child. That sounds psychotic to me.
Not
What
really.
if you bring your girl with you? Your new girl.
It's still psychotic. Why am I conjoining extended lives together?
Well, to
It
be
doesn't make
honest,
sense.
I just feel like new
Keep it
families
separated.
will
I'm not saying you gotta
create.
fight, but just like
No, but you can create boundaries and you can, talk about what you're okay with versus what you're not okay with. But I feel like being in a house, like, say, for example, you have your daughter and you got to go to your, her mom's crib to drop her off and, her new man is there. Like, it's nothing for you guys to be in the same room and say, hey, what's up? Tell them what went on at your house and what needs to happen with her throughout the week based on what you know. And you got to be able to communicate with, this, her mom.
I am not built for co-parenting. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, okay, and there you go, segue, because she's
It's interesting because as a divorce attorney, everything you just said is kind of what, I won't say you're taught to say, or what, those are the things, the good things you're supposed
poetic.
The bullshit.
It's poetic, but not realistic.
Yeah, thank you.
It can be.
But after I got divorced myself, I had a whole different perspective, and it really changed my approach on that. And the way I look at it is kind of where you're at. Just keep it separate, because if the other person, if no one has any new people, it's all fine. Mm-hmm. And I hear that a lot. It's like, oh, it's great. Co-parenting is wonderful. They came over to the house, like you said. Soon as there's a new love interest,
Talk about it.
it's all kind of hell.
They don't like that.
People start calling. There's a problem. Now we want to change.
Why is there an issue?
Now we want to change the custody. Now we want to do change
Right.
parenting. I don't like him or her. Why are they with my child more than I am with my own child?
Right.
So, I would just say it's harder. It's easy to say, but
It's harder to live.
Oh my God, it's harder to live.
But why?
Because you looking at your.
I hate the other person.
Okay, well, I can.
Why?
I mean, some people just don't vibe.
Some people are bitter.
Yeah, that's it.
Some people are bitter.
Yeah, we can talk about
Some people are fucking bitter.
bitter baby mama, bitter baby daddy. And Rome done looked in the camera, so y'all know who he.
People are just bitter. Like, move the fuck on.
No, it's definitely true. But Rome.
I'm just saying, get you a fucking man.
You need a
Uh
little.
huh.
No.
Uh huh.
You say that, you gonna get them. Shit.
Rome is a daddy. Rome is a daddy.
No, I'm just saying. Like, if your kid is fine, your kid don't come home hurt, and then like,
Is that the bar?
I'm just saying, your kid is. But think about it. If when this happens, I'm sorry, yo.
Clearly. Wait, take a break.
No, I don't need a break. When this happens, when people separate, right, and you have kids together, if you have a problem with how this person is still around your kid, then you would say something. You would say like, "Oh, they're police. This person's harming my child," but you don't say that. It comes home fine. Man gets a new wife, gets a new girlfriend, whatever. Now the kid's got all these problems, and you're a liar.
You
Because
just want drama.
there's competition.
There's
that
no
creates-
competition. I left you.
That's the way people feel.
Ooh, Rome, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. Let's move on. You go do you, and you're already bitter. You're gonna be bitter, all right? And
I like that. I like that. Talk that shit.
just move on. Everybody moves on. Like, how long you gonna be stuck?
You
I
know
don't
what?
want you.
But I think that's
Some people
the
are stuck
thing.
and fight till the kid's 18.
But
No,
know what I just
honestly-
realized?
No.
I
Okay,
just
go ahead.
realized real quick, I just realized something. Just because we're separated doesn't mean we've moved on. And I think that's why it works.
That's true.
Once you see that I have moved on and progressed, that's when you understand we are now separated. But you don't understand separation when you still coming over and we still having family dinners every Saturday and Sunday. But when separation happens is when you're now have to respect different boundaries because of
Yep.
another person, another entity, whatever that
That's
may
why
be.
that has-
No, yeah, because sometimes that's the environment with your baby daddy or your baby mama. Like, there's always some, like, still some kind of tension or still kind of like sexual involvement where you guys probably think that you guys might get back together, which is why always beware of people with kids. But Rome, not you.
No.
Everybody but Rome.
Right. Literally. Say it.
I mean,
Everybody but Rome.
I've had some people get divorced, and they're still sleeping with the divorced person,
See, so it's like
married to somebody else. It happens.
right. So it's like when you get a new partner, like sometimes it just creates jealousy within the whole like dynamic now, and that's why you don't like the new girl, or that's why you don't want your kids spending too much time, or don't bring your girl or any girls around my kid.
She might cook
or,
better than me.
right, or my
She
kid.
do cook
might
better,
like
not
your
Mike.
food.
She
Like
do
your
cook
food.
better.
Or my kid might actually like her and want to be over there all the time, and she might start calling her
Yes.
mommy. And that's not your mommy.
And that's not your mommy.
That's problematic. Come on.
Yeah.
No, that is problematic.
If you a kid and you start calling somebody else mama, that's
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah, but
But they cheered Ciara on, and
if you like, I'm saying a man, like a man. I'm not gonna let you call who's not your mother. Like I'm gonna step in and let you call that. You know what I mean? Because I'm keeping it separate. I'm sorry, I'm keeping it separate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my job to do that and say like, that's not your mother. You can't do that.
So this is my perspective.
Move
I'm
it back
you're gonna have to
because I
call
think
him
that's why you're
S.
missing the mic.
You're gonna have to call my new girl SM.
No, you just
As in
talk about her
stepmom.
name. Or auntie.
Don't-
like the
I don't-
Jamaicans do.
No,
I
I
don't
think
like
it's
that,
just
like,
appropriate for you to
Don't call
the
my
new
girl
person.
auntie. Listen. I understand it. I am not your child's uncle, and you are not my child's auntie, because we are fucking. You understand? And that's weird.
It's more of a no. I think like, and I just said this like for Caribbeans. I think it's more of like a respect thing.
It is a respect
It
thing,
ain't-
but not in that scenario. Like if you're
I call my stepmama her name since I was a little.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
if
I
your
mean-
parents
Like
are
we
dating
friends.
someone, like, you'll
That's
typically call them by their names. If you're, like, parents' friends, of course, you'll call them auntie or, somebody.
No, I know for a fact. Yeah, like you just say auntie, like the Caribbean. Well, maybe not your Caribbean, like the Caribbeans I know, like out of respect or a miss.
Yeah, but,
something.
like, not
You ain't gonna
someone
call
that
her
your
name.
parents are dating.
No, married. No, like the new
The new wife, the
the
stepmom.
new stepmother or stepfather. Like
Oh,
But you
absolutely
do have to be
not. I don't
careful
know.
what your child calls that other person
Yeah.
from a legal standpoint, because
Really?
that will be one of the things asked, and if
I can see that.
and if the child is, as you would say, being allowed to call the other person mom or dad, and they're not the mom or dad, that's a strike against you. That kind of hurts you.
Really?
Is it because you're not making the distinction?
Right.
Okay.
What if I did something like Mima?
What?
That's like grandma.
That's
Listen.
grandma.
Yeah.
Is that
I'm-
Mima?
No, that's
your name is Lisa,
that is grandma, but like
call
I'm
that
trying to
lady
figure out a
Lisa.
different way
That's
as
it.
an
I
example.
don't know, but if I'm like 47 and you like 13, you not finna call me by my first name.
I am.
You're not.
I am.
Wait, time out. I got
I'm
lost
gonna tell
in
my
the
daddy
example.
I'm not calling that lady Auntie
I'll be
Erin.
like, cool. Just don't have her around when I'm here. That's all.
Okay.
Bye, little bitch.
Bye, Erin.
Bye, little bitch.
I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like, I just like I don't
Let my
see a
parents get
problem.
remade. I'm giving them
that
bitches hell.
right there actually is an issue in some of the custody battles, because one parent is saying they can call someone else by their first name, and the other person says no, they have to use Miss, like put something in front of it, and that might be why they got divorced, or they're not together anymore because they have different parenting
Oh,
styles.
yeah, sometimes it is
But-
conflicting against what the parents are telling
Yeah.
the child.
Like,
Wait,
we're not age mates.
can
You're not
we,
gonna call me by my first name.
Can we actually touch on that real quick? Because like I had this theory, and I was like, I really don't think that people should be married before they have kids. Like because like one of the hardest things to do is to accept the parenting style of somebody that you never knew was a parent. And like in my own relationship, it was a whole bunch of hurdles that we had to climb over to come to an agreement on how we're going to raise our children, because we do it differently. And I can see that a lot of people, just from my experience, I'm not saying that it happens, but I can see it if a lot of people will then have a whole different type of like issue with each other because of the way that each other parents.
Oh yeah, that's a. I like what you said at the end. I'm not so sure I agree that you
beginning.
shouldn't be.
And not the premise.
You shouldn't be
Because I just don't understand. Like the thing is, you don't know somebody until you have that child.
That's true.
Like
there needs to be some way to learn the parenting style. But I think in the new world, the modern world, we move different places. We don't know the whole history or know anything about that person, even just in a circular fashion. But I'm thinking about, I grew up in North Carolina, a small town. You might not have known, Steve or whoever, but I know all of Steve's family. Like, something about them to give you some semblance of maybe
gentle parenting.
right, how they might go about things.
That's why practice. You guys gotta practice a little bit. You see when like couples like move in together before they get married or they
you get a
have
baby
kids.
doll? Get out of here, Amanda.
No. And they call it playing house. Like, you come over all the time. Yeah, get a kid. You got a little cousin. You got a little. Like, bring them over so I see how you are with the kids.
That's
like,
not
you know what I'm
reality,
saying?
though.
Wait, guys. I just want to make this. I just want to make this disclosure. Amanda still watches Disney.
What?
That's why she wants to play house.
So this is the
First
point
of all,
that I wanted to
everybody
make
knows those
earlier.
two movies, so please.
like, Rico, you said you're not family, and this is coming from
Wait,
my experience growing up with my parents, right? Regardless of whatever happened between them, when it came to me, both of them had to be there.
Yeah.
So my graduation, they're there. My wedding, they're there. My scholarship presentation, they're there. My debutante ball, they're there. Like, whatever, and the things I knew the beef, whatever the beef was, they still had to figure out how to coexist, because at the end of the day, they are family. If there was something that happened with me or something that happened with my mom, my dad's not gonna be like, oh man, fuck your mama. He gonna be like, so Erin, what do you need me to do? Because I understand it's your mama. Like, that's like, a couple years ago, we had Thanksgiving at my grandma's house. I was like, Daddy, you want to come over? My daddy was right there, probably 2 people down from my mama. Like, at the end of the day, that's my mama, my daddy, and my grandma, so I can invite whoever the fuck I want to invite. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that you are family. Whether you choose to partake in it is different, but you're going to miss out on something with respect to your child.
My sister, right? My sister.
You're welcome.
Well, you have a good family dynamic, though.
I don't agree. Yeah, I'm about to say.
I don't think
Because whose grandma? I mean, well, your grandma, but whose mother?
it's my mama's mama.
And so you see, like, if they had beef, like, obviously your mom was okay with you inviting your dad, but maybe that wouldn't be the case for everybody. Like, this is my mama house. Don't invite your dad over here.
You all sound very civil.
Well, the beef isn't
Because
It's not-
some families, they would have been fighting.
I'm listening.
the beef is not between the grandparents or aunties and uncles or whatever.
Oh, I know.
Like, I could literally be at my uncle's house in Houston right now, my dad's brother. We kicking it, having a drink. And he'd be like, where your mom at? I'm like, oh, let me tell her to come over here. And my mom will go over to my dad's brother's house, and we'll all just be kicking it, having a good time. Because, one, they've known each other since they were like, I don't know, in their 20s or whatever. And I guess they all have good relationships. Whatever beef is literally between my mom and my dad. It has nothing to do with my grandparents. Nobody
Yeah, but
else.
your family has been merged. Both families have already been merged. So that's why there's only beef with just them two. So if my family is separate from whomever's family, right? And me and her have beef, my family doesn't have any loyalty or any connections and ties to her and her family. So there's no reason for them to be blended anyways. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier about the fact that I think the world is different now. We are more nuclear than we used to be, and there's no history, there's no backstory. All of that just isn't there, and it's easier for families to separate or just fall out of it. They just fall out of it.
Kids involved?
Yeah, if you're civil, so then you add families that are got real problems.
Yeah.
Meaning, there's some that feel like, hey, you broke up with so-and-so and all of us are going to hate you. And we're going to make your life hell because, hey, you divorced the person, or maybe you cheated and everybody's mad about it.
well, if you cheat on me and steal my money, my family better
You're
hate
still
you.
on that.
Yeah, my family better hate you.
How does it come down to
it's
the
my
kid?
side or hers.
Like,
I'll give you an example. My sister, right? Her and her son's father haven't been together for 10 years, right? They have a football game. She doesn't tell him about the football game because they're at such odds. He's married to another woman. She communicates to the other woman about what's going on.
I hate that, by the way.
Yeah,
woman.
Yeah, like
Because she don't fuck with her?
stepmom. Well,
They
they both refuse to speak to each
Because
other.
I think if you're the parent,
you should be.
you should be the one communicating.
But that's also still being civil, and some
Yeah.
people aren't civil.
And that shit is. But there's.
Right.
But and mind you, they've had a history of shit that they did to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no coming back from it. So like, and their families, and it's weird too because like even for his birthday last year, right?
Birthday.
Her son's birthday.
Okay.
We all went to. He had a birthday party at this big arcade space, right? And they rented out this whole hall, whatever. But half of the room was over here with the mom's family. Half of the room was over there with the dad's family. Nobody spoke to each other.
Surprised they didn't have 2 birthday parties.
I was like,
That's what happens a lot.
but
Seems like that makes the most sense, I guess.
no, the only reason why they didn't,
the
because I asked
child,
that
that's
question.
sad.
I was like, yo, there's still tension over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can feel it. It's not like it's cool. The kids still don't feel it because they already out in the playhouses and all this
Like,
extra.
where the tickets at?
Yeah, give me the card. That's
Right,
not
yeah,
like-
you're right. The cars.
So, but like you can still see the two families are at odds, and realistically, it's like it's cheaper, right? Why have two
Right.
birthdays? We could just both put our money in. We could be cordial, but we are not gonna speak. Like we're not gonna do anything, and that's I think. And mind you, they're from the same area.
Different situations because your families never blended. Well, their families
Yeah, that was
never.
my, yeah.
Mhm.
that's
Their
what I
families
wanted to
never
know.
blended, and they don't really know each other that well. So it's just like, okay, well, I'm here with him, so you know,
I
if this
just-
is where he's at. This is where I'm at, and I'm here with her. So if this is where is that how it is?
Nah, so the funny thing is, so we're all from the same town, and our town is small, right?
Cataracts.
No, it's well, first of all,
Wait.
it's one, it's Carteret. Two. No, so like where I'm originally from is Perth Amboy, right? So now that's where everybody in Perth Amboy is like blended. You damn near related, realistically. So now the thing is, yeah, because everybody is like, it's weird. The family was blended, right? Like they were cool, but the thing is, at the end of the day, when you tell your problems to your parents,
Yeah, that
your
makes-
parents are, especially if they find it disrespectful or
They're
whatever.
invested now.
Yeah, now they're gonna hate just as much as you are, right? Now, if it wasn't a real problem, like let's just say me and her were just arguing about parenting skills, that's whatever. You get past it. But when it's like, oh, you did that to my son, oh, you did that to my daughter, or then you did this and then you did that, then the whole family's just like damn near about to fight. You know what I mean? But obviously they don't. But that's why it's hard to be blended because realistically, I know as a father, if my daughter was married and she got divorced and she told me a list of things that this man did to my daughter, you think I'm about to be cool with this nigga?
I don't know.
I was just like, it's the
Yeah.
respect thing.
Bro,
I think it.
my lawyer,
I
first
think
of all,
this
my
is a
daughter's
part
an
of my
Aries,
maturity.
right? My daughter is not going to be okay with me chilling with the ops, right? So like, and at some point, I'm not gonna see, for me, I could want to hang out with you, right? And I might never have an issue with
Probably
you.
your little like junior best friend.
Yeah, but at the same time, when I have somebody who is my immediate family, especially, I'm not
She's
gonna.
not your immediate family.
No, I'm talking about like my sister. I mean,
okay.
my sister, my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be at odds with my blood that I really, really love just for a friendship that I desire. And I think like because that's something that is irreplaceable.
That's you.
Yeah, that's just me.
I
And
feel
I kind
like
of see that way, but I just
Because I'm a real OG though. You gotta
No,
understand.
that's
A lot of
that's
people ain't
like-
real OGs,
hold
Miss
on.
Fawn.
No, it is like a real strict loyalty, right? It's a real strict loyalty that Rico's talking about right now. But I feel like
not
there's
my
also a sense of maturity that it just says that like, no, you don't have to create a friendship, or if you did have a friendship with your daughter's now ex-husband or, you know, whatever, maybe that friendship won't continue, but it would be nothing for you guys to be in the same room and say, hey man, like what's up? How's everything going? Like that's just mature. You don't be like, all right, he did that to my daughter. I ain't fucking with him. I'm not going over there to him. It's just like a little bit mature. Just
You don't got a kid, but
no, it's not even. But I have sisters. I have aunties, and I've done this. I've done this. Like I ride really hard for my family, my sisters. Period. My aunt. First of all, I guess I'm like I was. It was just the way I was raised. I called my aunt by her first name just because she was so young. when I was born, right?
How many years?
That was doesn't matter because you gonna try to southern me talk about you supposed to call her auntie.
No, I'm not, because I have a auntie who's 13 years older than me, and I call her by her first name.
Okay, she's 19 years older than me.
She's your
But-
fucking aunt. Yeah, she's your,
That's why I was like,
she
it
was
doesn't
so
matter.
young when I was born.
It doesn't matter.
She was an adult.
Literally an adult. My in sixth grade or something.
Like,
Well, anyways,
What the fuck?
all of my mom's siblings, I treat like my siblings, like because they were all very young. They were. So my aunt, she had this boyfriend, and he was our neighbor, so he was very close, and we knew all the drama, whatever. And I used to be having her back, like, don't let him do that to you. Like, we not fucking with him. Like, I used to be like that. And mind you, I was only like 15 years old. Like, look at, she was to come for me so
she
bad.
was
So
15, she was in her 40s? 30s?
how old was she?
15?
I don't
She
know.
was 34 years old. She was 34 years old.
I don't think she needed you.
Yeah.
She didn't. She didn't. She did.
You better leave my auntie
No,
alone.
she did not need me, but that's just the type of person I was with my sisters as well. But it's like this day and age, I would not do that. Like, you got something going on with your baby father, like, I'll still see him because I do see him. We're neighbors, like, and I know his whole family. I will still say hello. I'm not on the same, like, you did that to my auntie, so
I
I'm
don't
not.
think that's
It's
not.
my family dynamic.
Yeah, but there's certain things that you're not coming back from. Like, for example, if somebody cheats on you, who the fuck cares, right? If somebody hits you and beat your child, you know, look at that way different.
But I think they're going to be in jail.
No, I mean, even
No, they're not.
And if
Like,
even
what to
if they're
say?
not,
no, I'm saying like,
Maybe, but
like I'm talking about an adult.
Oh.
Like, all right,
those are two different situations.
no, they're
though.
not. What I'm trying to say is that there is an extreme, and that's not even really an extreme because it's very common. Domestic violence is very common. So when you get into the realm of, oh, such and such put their hands on my daughter, or she tried to stab my son, and then it gets to a whole point where it's not being civil no more.
It's different, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you cheat on my son or you cheat on my daughter, all right, I can live on it. But when you start causing harm to my family, that's when everything changes, and that's when being civil is like out of the window. Now, you might be able to be mature enough to not respond,
No, but
right?
that's why I'm saying it's different. Like, cheating on somebody or like doing little tit for tats between y'all and y'all relationship, like, cool. You don't fuck with that person no more because y'all in this little tit for tat business, then fine. I'm still mature enough to say hello. But something as bad as you putting your hands on somebody, you stabbing somebody, like, that is an extreme.
That is
Everybody
normal.
is gonna want fucking blood if you're not in jail.
Like,
but it
domestic
is
violence
normal.
is very high.
It's prevalent. The other thing is that sometimes you're talking about siding with your family, your blood, but
What if they wrong?
well,
I ain't signing on
they
the
might
ones
not
that are
be wrong, but sometimes those friendships on your end, where you said that the other families, they're friends or they hang out, that becomes a wedge because you've got maybe not literally, but my ex is friends with my family, and now it's like, am I in the family still? And like, everywhere I go, I got to see see this person there. Right.
You really?
It didn't happen to me.
People feel like that?
I actually
yeah.
have one of my friends.
yeah.
You actually met him. He had an issue with his friends and family because him and this one girl had a bunch of different things that they went through. They finally broke up, and they refused to stop bringing her around to family gatherings. So he started to not be around his family because they wanted to keep somebody that he felt uncomfortable
I
to
was
be around.
literally just
that's
thinking
and
that.
that's-
Like, you were confused,
fair, though.
but I would feel some type of way too, because if I don't talk to this person and you guys still feel like he's family enough to still like have him around, maybe what if I get so uncomfortable that I don't want to come to the family events, because if I know he's going to be in the same room, I'm not going to want to be there.
I guess
So-
you ain't gonna be there.
Not even about the no communication. Like I said, I have no problem with you guys talking to him when you
being
need
around.
to. It's about being around. So if you know that I don't fuck with him, right? Like, let there be boundaries. Don't be inviting him to our family barbecues or to Thanksgiving. Like,
Can they be texting him like every?
I don't think that's necessary too. Like, you don't no, but like personal friendships, there's no reason to have a personal friendship. If you see him,
Well, so
Fuck
this
that.
is-
We all broke up. Like, we all broke up. I don't
This
think
is the
y'all
problem
understand
with-
that.
Yes.
This is the problem with that. When you bring somebody around your family and you integrate them into your family, these people create personal friendships and relationships with these people. And so it's very hard to require somebody to just totally, divest themselves of that. So
you see, like, if you text him because you know he works in construction or something, or not construction, who the fuck needs information about construction? But he's like,
an electrician.
He's an electrician, and your homeboy
stop using my
wants
shit. First of all,
he's an electrician, and your homeboy needs an electrician to fix something in your house, and you're just like, oh, well, my sister, ex-man, do that. So, like, I'm gonna hit him up and blah, blah, blah. Like, if you need him for anything, like, you know him personally. So it's like you can hit him up. But, like, hitting him up to be like, yo, let's go catch a game on Friday, like, you don't need to do that.
let me tell you
Yeah,
about
but that
my
shit never
family.
stops like that.
Let me tell you about my family. So I think some lights when my grandma was still alive, like some lights needed to be replaced in the house. And I was like, my grandma was like, Erin, tell your daddy, because my dad's an electrician, like a real live electrician.
A real live one.
Yeah. Like with a license and shit. Like not Rico's made up, whatever. Yeah.
I don't know why they thought that was my career, but it's all right. Go ahead.
They didn't see it was chopped, and so my grandma be like, oh, can you call your dad? I'm like, yeah, let me call him. I'm like, Daddy, can you come over? When he was still like willing to do stuff at people's houses, I'm like, Daddy, you come over to my grandma's house to do X, Y, and Z, and he'd come. And if he couldn't come, he'd send like somebody that he trusted to go do the work. Like, I think that the fact that my parents like kind of were together, kind of like in early, like in their 20s, and I won't even say our families were integrated, but I would say that like if something happened to one of my uncles, my dad would go to the funeral. My dad was at both of my grandparents' funerals. I'm sure if his parents died, my mom would be at both of them. I just feel like there's a certain level of like, you know what? This is still my granddaughter, and that's her daddy. This is still my granddaughter, and that's her mama. So, and I know it was some drama that went on with them, and I think eventually everybody knew the drama, but I it's just hard.
Those are good goals. But we can say those are goals.
But I'm not even saying this in the sense that my parents are just so fucking involved. They're not.
Oh, I don't mean in a bad way. I'm saying actually that would be a good goal for divorcing families to aspire to, toward.
To be civil.
But it may take, first you got to first get the civility, and then just the time. Time does
Yeah, I'm not
help
doing
a
it.
lot of things.
Like my grandmother, so
Yeah.
my mom and my father weren't together. And even though my father was absent, but I feel like the difference is my father was absent, but the rest of my family on his side was like, fuck that, we still gonna be here. So like my grandmother was still there,
That's very different.
right?
Yeah.
And like my aunt, my uncles, like they're my cousins, like my aunt's kids who are older, but like they're like my uncles and they were 19 years older than me.
And you called him uncle.
Actually, I call them by their name, but but like they all watched me and everything too. So like even though my dad wasn't there, his whole family was always there because my mom, first of all, had me by herself, like with nobody there. So when my grandmother was getting sick and everything on my dad's side, my mom was still visiting the nursing homes and she still went to the funerals. She still kept in communication. She still talked to that whole side of my family, even though her and my dad don't see eye to eye. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's only because they stepped up and they said, yo, forget whatever he's doing, we're still gonna be here. And I think that's how they were able to have like a civil way about going things, right? Which eventually probably helped my mother and my father get to a point where they can actually be cordial, But if they would have never did that, I know, like, type the way my mom is, my mom would have been like, I'm not going to none of their funerals or none of their situations.
God.
Yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's how I think too. Like, if I have no real strings attached to you, I'm not one of those empaths. I can't feel bad for something that I don't care for.
Agreed.
Right? And it's not a negative thing, but if me and let's say me and my wife divorced and I never got along with her brother, and we got kids, and her brother was to pass, I will not feel inclined to go.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. Now, I don't wish that upon anybody.
Right.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not for me. It wouldn't even move me. I'd send my condolences through a text, about as far as I'll go. Fawn Dyer,
Yes.
right?
D-I or D-Y?
DY.
By the way, one of the great people that I study in my life that I talk to Marie about all the time is Wayne Dyer. Are you familiar with him?
I'm familiar with him.
He's a dope guy.
Are you related to him?
No.
No.
I was like the way she said it. She's like, I'm
There's
familiar.
a lot of people say that.
Yeah. You got a great last name. Okay. Anywho.
That's my ex-husband's name.
Ooh.
Swear to God.
Wayne Dyer.
No, Dyer.
Oh, you kept it.
Yeah.
Wait, is he related to him?
No.
Okay, all right. Don't do that to me.
He's from Newark. Or are they from
He's from Newark.
Wait. You said it like she shouldn't have kept his name. I'm just curious.
Why you have to have like that energy? I'm just.
No.
She said, wait, hold on.
Wait, hold on. Time out. You know what? You did keep his name.
Yes.
Why?
Because we were married for 15 years.
And she's
We're almost 15.
known as Fawn
And-
Dyers now.
Exactly. I got married to him in law school. Like
Oh, so
during
your
that time.
degree actually said
So
Dyer.
I was already,
Yeah.
you know.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Dyers.
Although
This is you.
I considered
You are Dyers.
going back.
Yeah.
Considered it because you hate them that much. So you want to get
hate
rid of the
them that
name.
much.
You want to get
We gotta
rid of the
talk
name.
about your hatred.
My
But
grandma kept her name. She's been divorced for forever.
Then after a while, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it. It was primarily for professional reasons. But then I thought about it. My children have the name, so that kind of makes it easier in life. You'd be surprised how many times you get asked differently about
what they want to call you.
if just filling out insurance enrollments at your job. If the name doesn't match, now you have to add about 4 or 5 other pieces of information.
Or when you take
Damn,
your
you're
kids
right.
on vacation and they want to know why you don't
Why
have
is
the
it
same
different?
last name.
Yeah,
Going through customs.
because we live
Relax.
in America.
yeah.
Relax.